So, welcome to the channel where mature adults and especially baby boomers learn to be better prepared for the unexpected and to live happier, healthier, stronger, and perhaps even longer. Last week we spoke about brain first, and we established that the mindset is the foundation of everything. But today, we get to look at the actual physical connection that makes that mindset possible. We're diving deeper into the connection between your gut and your brain. You've heard about the gut-brain axis. We're looking at the actual highway that dictates whether you feel clear and energetic or foggy and tired, fatigued, as the years go by. There is a massive nerve in your body that we call the vagus nerve. It is the actual communication highway between your head and your gut. For a long time, we thought that the brain was the one that was giving all the orders. Now science has proven otherwise. Now we know that 80 to 90% of the nerve fibers in the vagus nerve are actually sending information from the gut up to the brain and not the other way around. Your gut is telling your brain how to feel. And this is where 95% of your serotonin, which is that feel-good hormone, is produced. If the gut is in chaos, then the brain cannot be at peace. So when we talk about longevity, we're talking about keeping this highway clear of the traffic jams that are caused by inflammation and by poor nutrition. Inside your gut lives an entire ecosystem that we call the microbiome. We've talked about that a little bit before. So let me be clear about the language here because that really is important. The microbiome is the environment, the garden itself. The microbiota are the living organisms, the trillions of tiny little workers that live in that garden. These microbiota, including the bacteria, fungi, viruses, and other microorganisms, are not invaders, they're partners. These partners have been with us since the day we were born, and they outnumber the human cells by 10 to 1. Isn't that amazing? That there are more other bacteria, other entities in our bodies than human cells. Think about that. So these microbiota do far more than just digest food. They are chemical factories. They produce vitamins like B12. That's where your B12 really comes from. And they break down fiber into short-chain fatty acids that fuel the cells that are lining the gut. That's really important because without that protection, without that lining inside the gut, then things can leak through. You've heard the expression leaky gut. Well, if we're not getting enough fiber, then that might be an issue. So they train our defense system to distinguish between friend and foe, and they even produce the neurotransmitters, those chemical messengers that regulate our mood, our sleep, and our ability to think clearly. But the diversity of these microbiota really is what matters most. Science shows us that people with a wide variety of bacterial species in their gut tend to live longer and have stronger defense systems. And they experience less inflammation. As the years go by, the diversity of these workers often starts to decline, and we lose species. So the garden becomes less vibrant, and this is one of the hallmarks of biological aging. A study by Smith and colleagues that was published in 1999 in Nutrition Research highlighted that in our elder years, our cells face more oxidative stress, which is internal rust. And they found that flooding the body with concentrated plant nutrition significantly reduced the damage of our DNA. I love that study. That's one of my favorite studies of all. I have a video that maybe I'll show that video. Yeah, I'll put that video right here so you can see it. It's only 1 minute, and it's just amazing.
We all know that our genes can play an important role in developing heart disease or cancer. But what many people think, that they are just victims of their genes, is simply not true. Our lifestyle impacts more than 50% of our health, and diet plays a major role. Genes can be turned up or down by what we choose to eat. The influence of nutrition on our genes is a new field of research called Nutrigenomics. Australian researchers analyzed changes in gene expression. They wanted to know whether supplementation with Juice Plus affects certain groups of genes involved in inflammation and DNA repair. And now get this. They found that over 1,600 genes were changed after just 8 weeks of taking Juice Plus. The message here is simple. Good nutrition from a wide variety of fruits and vegetables is proven, once again, to be an important component of good health.
Reducing the damage to our DNA. So to stay strong and healthy, we need an army of healthy, diverse bacteria. And that army needs to be fed a massive variety of plants. So not just a whole lot, get a whole variety. Because we tend to eat the same thing, right? We tend to eat what we like. But every single day, our bodies require, and that microbiota requires a lot more fruits, veggies, a lot of plants. Many people believe that as the years go by, we need less. The opposite is the truth. We need more because our bodies don't absorb nutrients as efficiently as they once did. So we require a higher volume of micronutrients to maintain the same level of health. We're protecting those pipes. Our digestive enzymes decline. Our stomach acid is weaker. The lining of our intestines become less permeable to nutrients. So this means that even if we ate a perfect salad, we may only be absorbing a fraction of what we were absorbing 20 years ago. And truth be told, not only elders are getting less nutrition from the fruits and vegetables that we eat, everybody is getting less because the quality of the nutrition has gone down so much. One study that I saw in The Guardian, it was many years ago, and they studied broccoli, and they showed that broccoli, for instance, has lost 80% of its nutritional content. 80%, family. And that's for everybody. So think about that. If everybody is getting a lot less nutrition, and then we as elders are even getting less than everybody else, common sense just says, we could use some help. We need more. This is why I use Juice Plus Essentials as my bridge, to bridge that gap between what we eat and what we should eat, and the huge gap between what we eat and what we absorb from what we eat. And it provides the polyphenols, those different colors of the rainbow that we always talk about, with a huge variety of 30 different plants that feed the microbiota. So when we bridge the gap this way, we are providing the raw materials our gut needs to keep that vagus nerve highway running smoothly. How can I say that? Because I know how it's grown and that it's not processed, it's not highly processed. And they have just added just enough heat, enough warmth to dehydrate it into powders. So we're getting live, raw, whole food nutrition in a way that we just couldn't feed ourselves before. So we're feeding the garden so that the workers can thrive. It's about giving your body the best chance to be unexpectedly ready for life. We've seen the highway and we've seen the garden. There's one more piece of this puzzle, though, that most people are missing, and that's a huge piece. Next time, I'm going to dive deeper into a subject that is really vital for mature adults, and that's about enzymes. Think of enzymes as the actual spark plugs of your life. You can have the best fuel in the world. If you don't have the spark to ignite it, the engine won't turn over. And as the years go by, our natural enzyme production drops off a cliff. I'm going to show you how to get that spark back so that you will be able to use much more of the nutrients that you're already consuming. Your vagus nerve highway is extremely important. And now that you know more about that vagus nerve and that connection between your gut and your brain, you have choices that you can make. You can make better choices. And though, one at a time though. We don't have to try to do everything at once. One simple change at a time is the way we always say. It's the best way to go. I trust that this is helpful for you and that you are understanding more now, overstanding, and understanding the value of those microbes in your gut. We know that we can feed the good ones and starve the bad ones. Next time, we're going to talk about those enzymes, and you will be blown away with the science that shows what enzymes can do, how we have them, when we're born with them, and what happens when we're lacking them. And though, how we can get them back. You're not a helpless victim. Your health is truly in your hands, and I'll see you next time. Peace.